Michael Shannon is here. We just saw a clip of Nuremberg, which is available in theaters nationwide on Friday, November 7th. And then the day before, Death by Lightning, a limited 4-episode series that brings to life the stranger-than-fiction true story of the assassin of James Garfield. And our next guest plays James Garfield, and that Michael Shannon is here. So some serious subject matters, sir.
Yeah,
for you.
but I feel very fortunate to get to tell both of these stories because I admire both of these men a great deal, Robert Jackson and James Garfield. And I think the thing I admired the most about both of them is how dedicated they were to public service and how much they believed that it was their responsibility not just to hold a position of power, but to use the position they were in to help other people.
Yeah, the accountability, obviously, that you're referring to is for Herman Goring and how your character, Chief Prosecutor Robert Jackson, got him, if you will, at Nuremberg. And then you're playing James Garfield. How do you research playing him? Just deep into the source material,
there's a beautiful biography on Garfield that is available to anybody who cares to read it. But there's a lot of scholarship and writing about Garfield. Obviously, he's very mysterious to most people because he wasn't president all that long.
Over just 200 days or something like that, right? And he didn't want to be president to begin with.
Yeah, he was. You know, you're getting all secondhand information. I never got to sit down and talk to the guy himself, but apparently,
he was unavailable.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
But it seemed there was this balance between definitely he wasn't unambitious,
right?
But he also wasn't an egomaniac, you know, and he did seem to be most interested in, for example, the Department of Education was Garfield's idea.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was something that he initiated. When he initiated it at the time, it was simply the Board of Education. It didn't get to turn into a full-fledged department until some years later. But it was his idea that and the only way to have a free and equal society is that if everybody receives an education, which was such a beautiful thing. And he had nothing to gain by instituting that for himself. He just wanted to do it for other people, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see that eroding this notion that he had because I think he's right.
And it's, again, available for streaming on Netflix starting November 6th, a limited 4-episode series. And then Nuremberg, what a cast, man. I mean, Rami Malek and also Russell Crowe, Richard E. Grant, John Slattery, Colin Hanks, who's been on the show. A couple of guys that we just mentioned have been on the program. And Russell Crowe was a massive football fan as well. And so based on the book The Nazi and the Psychiatrist, and I imagine that's something that you would take in before you take on this character in this film.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The main storyline, Nazi and Psychiatrist, is doesn't really have anything to do with Robert Jackson at all.
Right.
But when Jamie Vanderbilt, who wrote and directed the film, was writing a screenplay, he thought, well, maybe I can have my cake and eat it too. So he's kind of telling the story from that book and also the Robert Jackson story, trying to squeeze it into one container.
Yeah, the psychiatrist played by Rami Malek, who's in charge of trying to attest to the mental state of Russell Crowe's Herman Goring. And again, that's a film that's available, again, nationwide, Friday, November 7th. Tell me about Eric LaRue. You directed this film as well, correct?
Thanks for asking.
Come on, man. We got your back here, Michael.
Yeah,
come on now.
Yeah.
You drive to El Segundo. I'll mention every single project you got.
I'll drive here anytime.
Okay.
It's my directorial debut. It came out briefly in the theaters, as unfortunately tends to be the case nowadays, unless it's a comic book movie or something. You get a very short stay in the theaters, but it is available on I believe on Apple and Amazon. You can rent it. And, it's a film I made about the parents of a boy who commits a school shooting, and it's after all the the initial hysteria is worn off. Their son is in prison, and you just see these parents trying to figure out how to go on with their lives, having had this happen. He's their only son, so they're just trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces. It's got an amazing cast. Judy Greer plays the mom, and she's just divine. And Alexander Skarsgård plays the dad, and they both just knocked it out of the park, I think.
Available on digital right now, as you mentioned, and as we are here on the Rich Eisen Show. Michael Shannon is here. I've got a celebrity true or false for you that we play with folks with a filmography and a television list of your history, just like you. We're going to right up your alley. Let's go. Celebrity true or false with Michael Shannon. We also have some really slick production value to kick it off. Hit it, please.
Hey. Oh, boy.
Celebrity true or false?
You can't handle the truth.
That's all we got. We're low budget. That's all we have.
Wow.
Did you ever work with Jack Nicholson?
But it's funny. On the flight out to L.A., they had The Shining on the movie selection. So
did you use it? Did you hit it?
I watched The Shining. I hadn't seen it in a while. God, he's amazing in that movie.
You know what all work and no play makes.
So Jack, that's the scene that really sticks out to me, is when she's reading that and he comes in. Oh my God! And she's got the best. She's trying to keep him away. That's one of the best scenes I've ever seen.
Well, I mean that she realizes all the writing that he's done at the typewriter this entire time in the snow is
the same sentence. Yeah.
I imagine you would want to work with somebody like Kubrick, or you heard how meticulous he was as a.
Oh, I don't care if you're meticulous to an end, then I'll work with you. Okay. I don't mind meticulousness. I mean, I've heard stories about how extreme it was, but I just think he's one of the greatest filmmakers ever.
I love it. You chose The Shining on a flight. Wow.
Yeah,
that's good. It's better. Would you have chosen that if you were sitting by yourself in a hotel room in the snow, though? Would you have chosen that?
Oh gosh,
you know what I mean?
That's an interesting point. Yeah,
it's fine if you're on a plane. Yeah. All right, here first up, true or false, Michael Shannon. Your first movie was Groundhog Day, and you learned a lot from watching Bill Murray improvise much of his dialogue.
That's true.
That was your first movie.
I mean, it's true to the extent it was the first movie that I was in, which was made by like a studio.
Okay.
I might have screwed around with it because I was in Chicago at the time, like doing non-union theater and making no money. I think I might have made a film with the buddy, like just screwing around, but that was the first like professional film.
You were in the diner scene, right, with him, and then
and then at the end in the dance. Yeah.
What'd you pick up from Bill Murray?
Oh gosh, I mean, because he's improvising, it's not like you can say, oh, I'll use that because that's the whole point of improvisation.
Right.
It comes and it goes. But I just love improvisation. I came up doing theater in Chicago, and there's a big improv tradition there. And
do you remember any line that he improv'd in the scene that you're like, that was fantastic? No? I'm testing your memory.
You're hurting my brain, Rich.
Is it true you were 18 in that movie?
Yeah, I was pretty young.
You were 18 years
19,
old.
Yeah, I'm 51 now, so it was a minute ago.
So that's why I'm testing your memory right now.
Yeah.
By recalling it.
I should have written it down.
That's all right.
Yeah.
All right, but that is true. Next up, true or false, you beat out Gary Sinise for the role of Greg in 8 Mile. Is that true?
Oh, did they say that because the character's name is?
I don't know. That's
Gary and Greg.
Gary
what am I thinking of?
Yeah, no.
No, I don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
All I know is that I played Greg Buell in 8 Mile. I don't know if I was their first choice or their second choice. I think I've gotten the benefit of a lot of other people perhaps passing on things throughout my career. When you get that last minute call and they're like, yeah, you want to do this like next week? And you're like, whoa, okay. I guess somebody changed their mind.
Is that how you got 8 Mile?
Again, I can't
maybe
remember.
Maybe you beat him out. Who knows, Michael?
I can't beat out Gib. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I mean,
Lieutenant Dan, come on.
He's got magic legs. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember what?
I mean, Gary Sinise is also a bit older than I am.
Okay.
And I think the whole point of it was that Eminem's mom was going out with like
A younger
dude.
a kid from his high school, which is just weird.
Can confirm that is weird.
Yeah.
Do you have any recollection of Eminem on the set?
Sweetheart, total gentleman.
Sweetheart.
Oh my God,
Love it.
I just one of the sweetest people, and so respectful and like kind. All the, and because he could have easily been like, yeah, this is my town, my story, my set. Threw his weight around. Didn't never any of that.
Okay. Next up, true or false, Michael Shannon. You almost missed your chance to be on Boardwalk Empire because Manhattan traffic made you late for a meeting with Martin Scorsese and the writer Terrence Winter.
Wow.
Is that true?
That's some research. Yeah, I was making some really bizarre movie, and we were shooting just north of New York City. What's that town? It's some little town just up the Hudson a little bit. And yeah, they kept me later, and they said they would. And then I got in the car, and it was just bumper to bumper traffic. And I knew Martin Scorsese and Terrence Winter were sitting in a hotel room waiting for me to show up. They'd seen everybody else. They were ready to leave. The thing was over, and they just sat there waiting. And they waited like a really long time because it was just a parking lot. I couldn't get it. It was one of the most stressful car rides of my life.
I imagine it would be. I'm sorry to bring it up, but I'm just wondering if it was true or not. So is it true that lengthy car ride kind of got you, for the lack of a better phrase, flustered enough that you thought your character was a good guy, not the guy that you eventually played?
Oh, no, I had my wits about me when I walked in there. I mean, what I thought was based on how Terrence described the character to me. He's like, yeah, he didn't quite fill me all the way in. But that's the way it is with TV. Things start and then they change, and then people have ideas and
So you had no idea how dark your character really was when you took the role?
I thought when that started happening that eventually he would have some sort of reawakening or epiphany and go back to. It seemed like it would be that kind of journey of falling and rising back up, but he just kept falling.
Yes, he sort of. It's, by the way, anybody who watches that show can confirm he kept falling. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. Next up, true or false? When Shape of Water won the Oscar for Best Picture, you were watching on TV at a Chicago bar.
That's true. Yeah, there's a photograph of that, but I think.
Oh, there it is. Actually,
yeah,
all right.
I think what's important to acknowledge is that I wasn't at the bar because I love beer. I was at the bar because I had directed a play in Chicago, and that was the closing night of the play, and I hadn't been able to see it like the entire run, and I felt my poor cast. It was a really big cast. Mm-hmm. They had been doing a play throughout the winter through very inclement weather, blizzards, ice. I mean, they all got sick. I was like, these people are heroic, so I wanted to be there for closing night and thank them for their service, and it just happened to coincide with the night that the Oscars were. And
so you just went to the bar and just say, that's
where what you don't see in that picture is the rest of the cast.
Okay, so
that was the party after the performance.
Because at present in the national...
No, I didn't go see the play and then go to the bar by myself. We were all there.
At present in the National Football League, the quarterback Joe Flacco says he used to look at guys by themselves, sitting there eating by themselves, and think it was sad. Now that he has children, he thinks that that's actually blissful.
Paradise.
Yeah, that's what he says. He's saying right now. So.
I see.
But that's not what that is.
No, it was just, and frankly, one of the proprietors of the bar was like, it was his idea to take the picture. He thought it would be cool. He thought it would be funny. I didn't think at the time when he took it that I would be talking about it for the next decade of my life. But that's how it is in this business.
That's what I'm saying.
You play generals, you get generals out, you're like, yay, wow, what a great part. And then 10 years later, you're signing Fungo dolls. Like, why did I do this?
All right, finishing up with Celebrity True or False with Michael Shannon. True or false, the cast of Knives Out all had individual trailers but never used them and instead hung out together in the basement in the house between scenes. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, except for, Christopher Plummer, who was significantly older than the rest of us and needed his rest. But, yeah, everybody got along. Oh, my God, we had so much fun.
What are you doing in the basement?
Just talking. They put director chairs around. We all just sit around there. I mean, because if you go back to the trailer, you're just sitting there by yourself waiting. But if you sit in the circle with everybody else, people telling stories. I mean, Frank Oz showed up for a couple of days. I was like sitting there with Frank Oz and shooting the bull.
What do you ask him about? Being Fozzie Bear or being in being in the Blues Brothers, or like, what do you ask him about, Frank Oz? Wait a minute, he didn't direct. He didn't direct Groundhog Day. That was Harold Ramis.
No, that was Harold Ramis.
Sure, right.
Yeah, I'd never met Frank Oz before he showed up on that set. But
I mean, I hear this and I think maybe you're playing Twister with Daniel Craig or something like that, and like board games in the basement or something. I mean,
there were no games. I think there was a pool table down there. Yeah, there was a pool table.
Who was the best in the cast and pool?
I mean, nobody was.
All right, that's why it's called Knives Out. It's not called Q Sticks Out. Okay, very good.
It's not The Hustler.
Last one for you. True or false? During one of your performances on Broadway, an audience member once vomited from the balcony into the orchestra section.
Yeah, that was the first time I was on Broadway. This play called Grace that I did with Paul Rudd.
Oh.
And my ex-wife, Kate, and Ed Asner. It was the four of us.
Okay. And you're all on stage and something happened?
Yeah, we were doing this scene. There was this scene where me and Paul and Kate are having dinner, and it's a pretty heavy scene, and it's kind of dense, and there's a lot of complicated dialogue in it. It takes a lot of concentration, and there was some commotion going on in the audience. And I started getting frustrated. I was like, what? I'm literally talking about, I have this speech about space and how it's so quiet out in space. And as I'm doing the speech, there's somebody out there like, I'm like, this isn't working. So then I go off stage, and one of the stage managers is right there. And I said, what's going on out there? And he's like, somebody just threw up. Somebody threw up in the balcony. And they went into the orchestra and went down. I was like, oh my God. And then I felt guilty for getting frustrated.
Yes.
But
you're an actor. You're a professional. And somebody's, that's it.
Yeah. You prefer, the just hushed attention.
Of course. Yes, and then no one's vomiting on top of anybody. I mean, that's a heck of an orchestra scene.
Yeah. But that's a story that we'll all have forever.
That is true. It will stand the test of time. Hey, man, congrats on everything going on with you. Nuremberg is available in theaters nationwide. What a cast on Friday, November 7th. The day before is when you can go to Netflix and begin the limited 4-episode series on the show called Death by Lightning, about the assassination of James Garfield. And then right now, available on digital, Eric LaRue, your first ever directing feature film. Great to see you, sir.
Thank you, Rich.
Anytime. Let's not wait another 10 years.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
No, 10 years. I mean, yeah, we gotta make it more frequent.
And let's do that. I greatly appreciate it. And that was a fun Celebrity True or False with Michael Shannon right here. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app, 12 to 3 Eastern.